Recently, the Pittsburgh Steelers punched their ticket to the playoffs with a thrilling win over the Baltimore Ravens, securing the AFC North in the process. Many assumed that the Steelers' triumph would secure head coach Mike Tomlin's job for at least another year amid increased angst from the fanbase, as this season seemed to be following a familiar script of mediocrity at times. However, recent reporting from ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler suggests that this may not be the case, although not for the reasons some may think. There is no firm evidence as of now that Tomlin would leave Pittsburgh after 19 seasons. He's been fiercely loyal to Pittsburgh, but a source close to Tomlin believes stepping away is at least a possibility, reported Fowler on ESPN.com. Fowler also noted that the source believes Tomlin would be more intrigued by doing TV than returning to the coaching market should he leave the Steelers. In this scenario, it would be Tomlin initiating the exit from the franchise, whereas many have speculated that the team could be the one deciding to part ways if this season didn't go as planned. Tomlin has yet to register a losing season in his nearly 2 decades as the head coach in Pittsburgh, but the team's early playoff exits and late-season nosedives have started to take a toll on the fanbase, and the Steelers will look to flip that narrative on Monday night when they welcome the Houston Texans into town for a wild card matchup. That game is set to kick off at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time from Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers just got more quarterback news, and this time, it may be their top option. While Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore Jr. are the dreams for any team looking for a rookie quarterback, there's a third name that could go in the first round of the NFL draft and look at the Steelers as a potential landing spot. Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson just put his name in the 2026 NFL draft, according to ESPN's Pete Thamel. Sources: Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson is turning pro. He just informed the Alabama coaches of his decision. Pete Thamel. Simpson was once viewed as one of the fastest rising prospects at the quarterback position, but struggles at the end of the season have brought up plenty of debate about where he'll land and what his upside is. Still, there's a belief he could end up being a first-round pick, just not at the top of the draft like Moore and Mendoza, which is exactly where the Steelers want a quarterback. Steelers' best option? Maybe fans aren't the biggest fans of Simpson, but the Steelers have been for a while. They have never viewed him as the top option in the class, but a realistic option for them if they decide to go with a quarterback. A still developing player, Simpson may fit exactly what they're looking for. They don't need to move up to draft him, and may actually be able to trade back into the first round and select him instead. He also would fit well behind Aaron Rodgers. The team is hoping Rodgers returns for another season, and they can develop a younger passer behind him. Simpson seems to be the player that allows them to do that this season, bringing plenty of upside, but needed room for improvement that can be fine-tuned while learning from Rodgers. Will Steelers look at Simpson first? The best part about the 2026 NFL draft class is that there is a ton of talent in the early rounds. Teams can find starters at a number of positions, including quarterback, if they want to. Will the Steelers jump the gun, though? Probably not. Pittsburgh needs defensive tackle, cornerback, and wide receiver help, as well as having to make decisions at left tackle and left guard in the offseason. So, they won't be overly ambitious to find a quarterback unless Rodgers decides to leave. They're hoping for an ideal world, though. One where Rodgers returns, they find another starter or two in the NFL draft, and maybe a quarterback as well. With 12 expected picks this offseason, they have room to make moves. Trading back up for Simpson, or feeling comfortable with Simpson in the first round may be on their agenda. The Pittsburgh Steelers waived veteran cornerback Trey Flowers on Monday to create a spot on the active 53-man roster for wide receiver DK Metcalf. But Flowers wasn't gone very long. The Steelers announced Wednesday the team has brought back Flowers on the practice squad. The cornerback will be eligible to play in Pittsburgh's postseason matchup against the Houston Texans on Monday. The Steelers originally signed Flowers to their 53-man roster on December 25th. The cornerback played in one game for Pittsburgh, the Week 17 matchup against the Cleveland Browns. Flowers lined up for 2 special teams snaps in the Browns matchup. He didn't appear on defense. Flowers was a healthy scratch on the team's inactive list during Week 18 versus the Baltimore Ravens. There are unlimited practice squad elevations for each player during the NFL postseason. So, Even though he's not on the active roster, Flowers could dress in any and/or all playoff games the Steelers play in to end the season. That is, as long as he remains on the team's practice squad. In 8 NFL seasons, Flowers has posted 287 combined tackles, including 4 tackles for loss. He also has registered 22 pass defenses and 4 interceptions in 98 games. Flowers started 44 of those 98 contests. Steelers bring back Trey Flowers. It isn't a huge surprise Flowers found his way back to the Steelers. The team had to release someone with Metcalf's reinstatement Monday. Despite a short stint in Pittsburgh, Flowers appeared to be the unlucky choice rather than a player the Steelers didn't care to lose. The team also opened a practice squad spot Tuesday, paving the way for Flowers to return if he cleared waivers. That officially happened Wednesday. Flowers will bring more secondary depth and experience. Going forward, it will be from the practice squad rather than the active roster. But because of practice squad rules in the NFL postseason, the Steelers aren't limited in how much they can use Flowers for the rest of 2025 to 26. He started just 3 games over the past 4 seasons. But Flowers served as a starter in 30 contests during his first 2 NFL campaigns from 2018 to 19. That was after the Seattle Seahawks selected him at number 146 overall in the 5th round of the 2018 draft. Flowers also started 7 games for Seattle in 2020. After leaving the Seahawks, Flowers appeared in regular season games for the Cincinnati Bengals, Atlanta Falcons, Jacksonville Jaguars, Indianapolis Colts, and Detroit Lions before signing with Pittsburgh. This season, Flowers played 2 games for the Lions in October. Steelers waived offensive tackle David Sharp to bring back Flowers. As previously mentioned, the Steelers created a path for Flowers to return. They did that by releasing offensive tackle David Sharp from the practice squad Tuesday. Sharp joined the Steelers' practice squad about 2 weeks before Flowers did. When he signed with Pittsburgh, the team was dealing with significant injury issues at tackle. That situation has stabilized itself with strong play from Dylan Cook at left tackle. Over the past month, veteran Andrus Peat has also returned, and the Steelers added Jack Driscoll to the active roster. Therefore, entering the matchup with Houston, it made sense for the Steelers to drop Sharp to bring back Flowers. The Steelers will host the Texans in the final wild card matchup of the NFL's opening 2026 playoff weekend. The game will kick off at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday night, January 12th. The search for the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback of the future may soon gain another intriguing option. With 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers nearing the twilight of his decorated career, the Steelers are widely expected to explore long-term solutions at quarterback this offseason, whether through free agency or the draft. On Tuesday, one potential answer officially entered the conversation when Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson announced via Instagram that he'll declare for the 2026 NFL Draft after his first season as the Crimson Tide's full-time starter. Simpson authored a standout campaign at Alabama, leading the SEC in completions, 305, while throwing for 3,567 yards and accounting for 30 total touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. He guided the Crimson Tide to their first college football playoff victory since 2021 with a win over Oklahoma, though his postseason run ended on a sour note after he struggled and exited with an injury in Alabama's quarterfinal loss. Despite that setback, Simpson's draft stock remained strong. ESPN draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr. currently ranks Simpson as the number 3 quarterback in the incoming class, slotting him behind Indiana's Fernando Mendoza and Oregon's Dante Moore, both of whom are competing in the college football playoff semifinals and have yet to officially declare. Given Pittsburgh's likely draft position, the Steelers are not expected to be realistic contenders for Mendoza or Moore, making Simpson an especially compelling name to watch as draft season approaches. His blend of production, poise, and experience against elite competition has already sparked conversation around Pittsburgh as the organization evaluates succession plans behind Rodgers. There are, however, concerns about his lack of experience and durability. The timing only adds to the intrigue. The 2026 NFL Draft will be held in Pittsburgh, placing the franchise firmly in the national spotlight as it navigates one of the most consequential roster decisions of the coming era. Whether Simpson ultimately becomes the next quarterback to don black and gold remains to be seen. But as the offseason begins to take shape, his declaration ensures the Steelers and their fans will be paying close attention.